Live from Chapel Hill, North Carolina, it's Rachel! I loved it. Almost sobbed.
I want to know. Like, I'm not patient like that.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that, actually.
Connecticut, America to small town England. Very interesting.
A scandal. Spinster status. New Instagram bio. I'm not painting that. Mr. Paint this hexed object. Mr. Blackmail Guy's party. Mr. Dark-Eyed Man. Creepy Man. We got Or Draco back on the biz. Sorry, I got a swivel chair. So I'm gonna what? I'm floored! But what am I gonna do? Post banter on Fable? Oh, the bug's moving. I don't think a book about tuberculosis is a beach read.
He's not a bad guy.
He's just misunderstood. It's
real.
Guys, she's coming for me. Help!
Hello. I'm still in Texas.
She didn't leave.
Did not leave. Oh my gosh. I'm in a different location though.
Life updates. Lucy and I both moved. We're living on our own. This is crazy.
Terrifying. Rachel's lived on her own before though, to be fair.
Yes. I've lived very on my own, to be fair.
So, anyways, yeah, I have my new setup, which all of my favorite books are at the top, and that might have been stupid.
No.
Whatever, that's just the way they are right now.
You can kind of see. I got 2 new bookcases. This might not be the permanent setup, but this is just what works for today. So.
I know, my window's actually next to me and not across from me, but it's kind of overcast today. Not really
yeah,
sure.
My window, obviously, I feel like you could tell it's coming from that way. So I might...
Also, we're trying earbuds today.
Oh, yeah, I noticed you don't have the over the head.
Yeah. So, I found these while I was packing and moving all of my crap here.
Oh.
And I was like, well, let me try that. So... yeah, me and Rachel have not talked about books in
a very long time.
2 or 3 weeks.
It's been a while.
So, what the hell have you been reading?
So glad you asked. Well, I started and finished probably my most anticipated release of the year, Apprentice to the Villain, which is the sequel to Assistant to the Villain. You don't know. Holy wow. She couldn't have done a better job in a sequel. Kept me entertained the whole time. I loved it. Almost sobbed when I read the quote from the villain. "Hello, little tornado. I almost lost my mind. I missed you too, sir." I didn't realize how much I would miss them. They're so ingrained in my brain.
Yeah. I think it was one of my... I also started and finished it because it came out. But I really like this book and this style this author does, because it's one of the better fantasy books you read, but not because it's so high fantasy or so well thought out, even though the plot is really interesting. It's just, I don't know, she has such a good banter between her characters, and they're all so interesting. And we got to look into a lot more characters in this one than the first one, because I think in the first one we did see a little bit of Rebecca and Blade's thoughts, but maybe 2 chapters, but they're sprinkled throughout here a little bit more.
I kind of, when I first saw that, I was a little worried, just because I'm you're adding so many different kind of plot lines and stories and POVs that it could get really convoluted, but it worked out really well. She did a great job with it, and I respect an author who can do that.
Although I am a little frustrated because this was a continuation of obviously it's a sequel, but in the first book we kind of run into Evie and she becomes the assistant to the villain. And then we learn that he is sort of plotting to do something. It's not really like clear in the first book. Like he's clearly beefing with the king and he's trying to like do something about that. And this book's a continuation, but we still don't finish that plot, which like obviously there's going to be a third book, but I just don't feel that enough was revealed. Like, and I guess like they're kind of talking about Ren and Dawn's story and how to fix it, but I think I just get frustrated when I'm like, don't tell me everything right now. I want to know. Like, I'm not patient like that.
Yeah. Like, explain it in detail all at once, please. I don't want to put together these pieces of like what's going on. That's literally the fucking point of reading, but
yeah.
Here I am.
Well, and then also the first book ends with the villain getting captured and then Evie being like, I'm going to save him. And then we don't get a week of plot. Like this didn't just immediately pick up. It was picked up about a week after he got captured and they get him again. But a lot kind of happened for Evie to free him. And I'm glad we didn't waste words on all of that. But they could have like they didn't recap it to almost like 2/3 of the way through the book. I feel like when he came back, she should have just been like, this is what happened in like a page.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that, actually. I liked that we didn't get like a play-by-play of like how she went to save him. I like that we got it in bits and pieces from other characters. I kind of like, obviously she was going to save him. If she didn't, there wouldn't be this book. So it's like, I don't know. It felt clear to me why, like, how she, like, clearly she wasn't going to die. Like, you know, clearly she wasn't dead when the villain, like...
No, I was, like, so confused. I don't know. I was right there with him. I was like,
I mean, but that's also the mark of a good author, of really putting...
True.
Like, I am, you know, being put in, like, Evie's shoes or, like, the villain's shoes of, like, I'm feeling what they're feeling, which, bringing it back to Reckless by Lauren Roberts, she didn't do that. Like with the whole marriage thing. Like she didn't give us the chance to be in Kai's shoes.
Yeah, I mean, like she
but
did,
like not well.
But like because she was so like we all clocked it.
It's like I'd like to not clock things, you know?
Yeah,
because then it's not fun. Oh my god! Speaking of clocking,
I like to be
things,
difficult.
This is off topic, and we'll probably get to this in a bit. But I am actually. I mean, this could be taken either way, but like, I liked that I watched Good Girl's Guide to Murder without reading the book. Okay. But I could say that if I read the book, I'd probably still watch the show, but I wouldn't get as much enjoyment out of it because I would know. And I think, I mean, how often, like, do you really rewatch a mystery? You know what happens. So, like, where's the joy?
Yeah.
Because, like, I didn't see it.
I don't know. I'm reading it.
I didn't see it coming. What the, like, the investigation is.
I'm halfway through A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and I'm like, every chapter, I have a new theory.
Yeah.
I'm right there with her. I cannot figure it out. And it's like, but it's challenging in a good way. And like, I can't wait to be surprised, not into like, I'm confused and I want to know right now. But let's see. I'm 226 pages in, and someone told me I like was talking about it, and someone had read the book and seen the movie, and there's like little things she was like, wasn't really, they didn't add that, but I'm at the part where she just went to the inn. I don't know if she goes back again, but she goes to the inn to like be like, has this girl stayed here? Like, you know, she's like, I know it's 5 years ago, but then the lady's like, no, I saw her a few weeks ago. And I like, for the like up until this point where like she's dead, even though like low-key I was like, maybe she ran away, but like we think she's dead. And I'm like, immediately, she's alive. Someone died because of her. And we're gonna find that out. But I still cannot figure out who did it. And I feel like the main character Pippa like isn't even on the right track.
It's actually like really interesting.
Like I feel like
she took it in a complete, like she spun it in a completely different way of like the final kind of resolve of what happened, and I didn't see it coming at all. I was like, because I at one point, it was like episode 5, and I was like, well, it's blank. But then it was like, wait, but maybe it's not blank.
I mean, every time,
you know,
I can see, and I think it's the reason this works so well in the book is she gets a piece of information from someone and she's like, okay, well that means so and so. Like this is what we're like concluding from that, but then she goes and talks to them, which immediately changes the outcome of like whatever that opinion hypothesis was, because like at one point she was like talking to her best friend's like dad, and she was worried he was the older guy that the girl was like allegedly seeing. And I was like, that would be such a plot twist, but I was like, I don't know. But then she talked to him and she was like, okay, never mind. Like, I'm just, you know, and you're right there with her because she's not making, like, yeah, she makes an assumption, but like she makes it with you. Like she explains it, but then like you're finding out right when she finds out. Although I do think now that I think she's alive, that we've kind of like confirmed she's alive and like she hasn't, but like I'm right there with you. I'm like, she's taking it in a completely wrong direction. I just know it. I know it's like not going to be anyone on this damn list. Obviously, she's not dead, but like then we have to figure out who killed the other person and like what kind of went down that night. And I think every single person on her list slightly contributed to what happened.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I haven't read the book, and I will be curious to like when you watch the show to see what kind of the differences are and like how true it is to her writing. But like a great mystery, and it kind of makes me want to read the sequel because I'm hoping that they'll make the next book in the series like the season 2.
The next, well, I'm kind of confused, like if you wrap up a mystery, like where we're going after this. So...
I read the plot to like I read like the first 2 sentences of the plot on Goodreads for the second one, and like I think there's like a new mystery or something, like a new something, like she figures out something else to like solve. I don't know. But like I'd be curious to like I would, if they came out with a second season, like I would watch it, and like I'd be excited to watch.
Yeah, I've never seen Veronica Mars, but from what I kind of know about it, like this seems very similar. But you know what's weird? This is set in like Connecticut, something like that.
They're British,
and she's British, and it's in somewhere in the UK.
Yeah, it's
in the show.
I don't know exactly where. It's beautiful. It's a cute little village. But yeah, they're British.
It's like a small town here.
And
I think that's going to change.
I love a BBC production. Like,
but like, one, I'm curious, like, why producers and like whoever like brought the rights to the show kind of made that choice, because total switch up in my opinion. Like Connecticut, America to small town England. Very interesting. And I wonder if it's going to change anything that happened in this book in that book. But like, it's not super specific to America. Another interesting thing, they describe Pippa right in the beginning as having long dark hair. And I know in the show it's Enid, and she's a Bob. I know her name's not Enid, but you know what I mean. So I really wanted to finish this before today, but I had a bunch of like stuff come up. So a little disappointed about that.
It's okay.
But excited to finish it eventually.
You're like pretty, like from what the show is, like you're pretty
halfway.
Because like you sound like you're at like episode 5, and there's 6 episodes. So
oh shit. Well, I guess a lot's gonna go down in the next half of this book.
The last episode, I was like, we're getting all the lore.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Also, she almost never mentions her friends in this book. They're around a little bit, but very, very minorly. Like I think we've had 3 mentions so far, and like hangouts total. And besides her like best friend because of the dad and everything.
Yeah.
And I saw a trailer for the book, and maybe I'm just not there yet, but it seems that who's helping her is like her friend.
It's
a girl, or is it the brothers?
It's the brother.
Okay.
It's the
Because that's how it is in the
the,
book.
like
The boyfriend's brother.
It's him.
Okay.
Yeah. She just like,
I don't know, maybe I'm just not far enough along.
she like updates her friends kind of what's like with what's going on, but like really like we see them hanging out like at someone's house, and then like quickly like we're on to solve the next, like she gets a new piece of information, we're already on to solve the next thing.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, yeah, I don't need to see you like laying on in like your friend's bed like watching TV. Like I don't need to see that. That's not important.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about. Yeah, she stops updating her friends pretty early on in this because of something that happens.
They don't want to like know about it.
She gets threatened, and so she doesn't want to tell
Yeah.
everyone because then they're going to tell her to stop. And so she kind of stops talking about it because she doesn't want anyone to know. But whoever's stalking her still knows. Because they text her. Anyways. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, what else have you read? I don't even know what else I've read.
I'm currently reading Throne of the Fallen. The Pretty Purple book. So good. So I was a little concerned, and they had me in the first little bit, like the first third. I was like, oh, I don't know if like I can really get into this. And then I really got into it because the concept is so interesting. It's like set in like Regency England, so very like Bridgerton, and we're following this woman, Camilla, and she's an artist. And the first thing we see of her is this guy coming into her like gallery and like threatening like this piece of blackmail that he has on her. And I'm like, oh, a scandal. And he was like, yeah, you know, I can make this blackmail thing that I have on you, like, I'll go away if we get, you know, engaged. Because she's still on the like society market, and he's kind of this like player fuckboy. And she's like, literally, no, I don't want you like that. You're a creep. And she's like, I'm already at like spinster status.
Oh,
I'm like,
leave me alone.
Spinster status. New Instagram bio.
You're not even 27.
But she's like, okay, I've got to like take back this blackmail thing, like the piece of blackmail that he has on me. So she goes to his party that he's throwing, his like little ball, and she's gonna go steal said blackmail information. And then like, I think it's like the day of the party or something, and she's working in the stew, painting, and this mysterious guy comes in.
Yeah.
Like this mysterious, like hot, tall, dark-haired man comes in. And she's like, what? She's like, oh, like, you know, how can I help you? Like, do you need anything? And he goes, I want you to paint something for me. And she goes, okay, what is it? And it's this like cursed object. And she goes, I'm not painting that. Because
that seems like a setup.
History that like we're still uncovering. And I think we're going to uncover it by the end of the book. Because her like mom ran away when she was a kid, and her dad was always like really weird, and then he like died, but as he was getting closer to death, he was like kind of going crazy and like painting. So her dad was a painter, and that's how she like, kind of got into it. He was painting all these weird things and like telling Camilla stories about like the fairies and the demons, and she's like, what?
She's like, you crazy
bitch. Like so then, you know, Mr. like paint this hexed object for me is like, fine, okay, fine, you won't paint it, like that. Then she goes to Mr. Blackmail guy's party, and she's like, I'm gonna steal. She made a forgery of a painting and sold it to him. And he's like, I'll out you as like making this forgery. She's like, so she wants to go steal the painting, the fake one. And she goes to the ball, and who's at the ball? Mysterious
The man.
Dark-haired man. She's like, what the, like, you're gonna follow me? And then she finds the painting in this guy's room, but then who's there to like stop her? Dark-haired man.
Are they brothers? Tell me they're brothers.
No, Mr. Dark-haired man has 7. He's one of 7 because they're the brothers are the 7 deadly sins. So he's
that's fun.
He's
I like
Envy.
that.
And we kind of like get little sprinklings of like his different brothers. And there's a series before this, actually. It's like interconnected, but you don't need to read Kingdom of the Wicked before you read this one. But Kingdom of the Wicked is actually YA technically, and this one is adult.
She said, I'm growing up with you.
Yeah, but I would like to read the original series because that one's about wrath. But anyway,
25-part book series.
So Envy tells Camilla, like, you have to paint the cursed object for me, and she's like, I'm not doing that. But then like creepy man, who is the blackmail, like almost finds them like in his room, like stealing the painting.
Yeah.
And then Envy's like, we gotta go. Like, you can't be caught in here with me. Like, that would look really bad. And like, don't you care about your reputation? So they like jump out of the window. And so then they kind of come to this whole scheme of like, he's like, you have to paint the object for me. She's like, fine. But then they kind of do this whole like fake marriage thing. I was like, okay. Because she moves, because he's like, if you're going to paint this object, like, you have to do it in my house. And she's like, we'll do it in your house. And he's like, well, yeah, but like, we'll be fake married. So like, it's fine. You can like move in and like, it'll be fine. No one will say anything.
Yeah, that's the solution here.
And then I
just washed my hands.
They're wet.
That's why they're wet.
No other reason. So she like goes to, paint this thing, and he's like noticing weird things about her, like when she's painting. He's like she comes out of like, she's like done painting for the day or whatever, and he's like, it's been 2 days, right? And she goes, it's only been an hour, because she's like painting this like cursed object.
Does he know what the object is?
It's basically, he wants her to paint the Iron Throne. Like this like cursed throne, like from the Fey realm.
Oh, yeah, he can't just like pick up this object. Oh, it's a large object. That's why she had to move in.
Right, like, but no, he doesn't have it. She's painting it from like stories. Because these fairies and Fey and like demon stories are like told in like their society.
So he's like telling her these stories? Or she knows the stories? Okay.
So then they kind of get...
But they're in the human world.
Yeah. They're in like England. So then they kind of get swept up in the game that Envy is playing. That is, the game master is like the unseelie like Fey king. What the hell? Like, what am I even saying?
I'm there with you, but also sometimes when you hear yourself, you're like, what am I even saying?
Yeah, I think about the plots of some of the books that I read, and I go, what even was that? Like, I couldn't explain that.
Oh, so what are you reading right now?
But yeah, it's basically this like game where Camilla and Envy have to solve like the clues that they're given, and obviously there's like banter and like sexual tension between them, because why I wouldn't be reading it if there wasn't. But it's good. I really like it. It's a thick one though. It's like almost 600 pages.
I did see it in the store.
It's thick. But I'm also reading, since you asked. Picked up another silly little Dramonie little number.
Which one?
It's called Bring Him
Not that I'm
It's
reading
called
it.
Bring Him to His Knees. Yeah!
Yeah!
We got Ora Draco back on the biz. Woo! God, they make him so well. They write him good. And I've got to read you this quote because I've been like highlighting shit. I'm like, damn, this author like knows what they're doing. So basically the plot of this one, so good. So Draco is an Auror. He's like a FBI agent, essentially, for the wizarding world. And he's on the case of a serial killer. And the serial killer's only like killing like young women. And he does it like the same way every time. It's always strangulation. Someone's always tied up with ropes. And there's always like a brand on them. Like somewhere, usually.
Okay. I'm into the true crime.
I know.
I'm there.
I want to know what's going on so bad, almost as much as I want to see Draco and Hermione be like idiots. Sorry, I got a swivel chair, so.
Oh no, I'm like looking at my swivel chair, and I'm like, should I sit in my swivel chair?
So, but funny, Harry Potter. Oh, Harry's in this one. I kind of like it. I like seeing him. He is like the head. He's the head FBI agent, basically. He's like top dog. And they kind of work. Sense. Yeah, they kind of work together like a little bit on this case. And so one day, Draco is at dinner at Harry's place, and Hermione's also there because she's like kind of like a roommate. And Harry is married to Pansy Parkinson, who I don't know if I mentioned this to you. She's kind of like a random Slytherin side character who makes appearances in fan fiction. She's like the badass one with like the high fashion, and she's cool. I like her.
Yeah. Where did they meet?
So, yeah, I know. That they kind of explain that. But it was like, so Draco has like, he dated Pansy, and it's not like weird or anything of like Harry being married. He like, Draco introduced Pansy to Harry, and they kind of hit it off and like got married and whatever. So Draco's at dinner at Harry's place. Hermione's there.
Yeah.
And they're talking about the case. And Draco's like, I think I've got to go investigate this like crazy wizard sex club, because the brand that the serial killer is leaving is like the logo for the club.
Oh, that's not sus, you know?
So he's like, I've got to investigate it. And Harry's like, yeah, you know, if you're onto something, like, go for it. And he's like, yeah, the only problem is you can't go into this club single. Like, you have to, it's like for couples, essentially.
Okay.
So
get her in there.
Pansy and Harry are like, well, Harry doesn't want to, he's like, I want nothing to do with this. Pansy's like, well, Hermione will do it. And Hermione's like, I'm gonna what? Like, huh? But she really wants to do it because she has, you know, liked this man forever. Haven't we all? So she's like, I'll do it. And Draco's like, are you sure? Like, he's like, you know what this entails, right? Like, we have to like fake date. And like, we can't just like walk around this club. Like, we gotta convince people. We gotta convince people that like we're like a real couple and like we've been together for a while. So they come up with this whole plot of like, we'll work together and fake date. And like pretend we've been like dating for a year, like in secret. And then we're finally like making it public. But this one fucking line, 2 lines actually. It's dual POV. Hermione talking about Draco. Renaissance sculptors could have changed the course of the Catholic Church if they used him as a model for Lucifer. Like, that is so whoa. That's like up front in the brain. Then another quote. This is Draco talking to Hermione. The day I run out of things to say to a beautiful woman is the day you can put me in the ground. So you're perfect.
Classic right there. That was good.
So you're perfect.
Yeah.
I love them.
How long is that one?
Let me tell you. It's like 31 chapters plus a like epilogue. I'm gonna have to like actually look that shit up because I don't know off the top of my head, but like how many words it is. Bring him to his. Is it even on Goodreads? You never know.
I don't know. What's it like comparable to? Like a 350-page book or
no, like a 600-page fantasy?
Yeah, okay. I'm just always impressed. Like, people are like sitting down and writing long novels.
Let me see.
I'm like, not that they can't publish this, but like y'all are really dedicating some time.
It's 242,632 words.
That means
I know it doesn't mean anything to me either, but like, put it in the terms of pages.
Let's see.
I thought I saw it on like somewhere. 200. What the fuck? I cannot speak. Today, going to cry in pages. Yep, not gonna tell me. Pages.
No. Oh. That's not helpful. I'm trying to look up like
so
Fourth Wing.
I did like a page, like a words to page calculator, and this says it's like 540 pages. That's on a random Google search, but like I wouldn't put it past.
I believe that.
Oh my god, that's a big bug. What the fuck is that? I think that's a tick, bro. It's outside. It's outside.
No.
My backyard is like actually the woods. But it's like jungle woods. It's so weird. There's like ivy everywhere. It's really pretty, but like there's definitely some like bugs in there, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't be stepping foot outside again. Scare. I saw a man walking on my roof a minute ago. So you know. But okay, that's interesting. Yeah. People just write those like fanfics and they're so fucking long. And they're good. Like the thing is it's not like, oh, it's like bad, and they were like, it's quality.
No, this one is like, this is quality entertainment. And there's also so much like, not like drama, like almost like traumatic things that happen, and the way that like they like specifically like Draco and Hermione like deal with that trauma that like, I mean, definitely Draco experiences as being like an ex-Death Eater.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I love them so much I could actually like, cry about it. I'm also just feeling emotional. So
emotional week.
Yeah. Well, what are
I didn't really get through like any. Well, I guess I have been reading other stuff, but I'm kind of also looking at my Fable. I'm on Fable. I've just moved away from Goodreads, so if you even see me on there. I'm so like, I'm kicking myself all the time because you can do the quote thing, like post a quote from the book. I'm not sure if you have to have the ebook connected to it or if you can just type in a quote and it'll be okay. And I always see them and I'm like, I guess I just never like stop long enough to do that.
Neither do I, because once I'm in it, like, I'm in it.
in this, I guess I marked a few. Like I could go back and mark
Yeah.
them. Like, but honestly, probably the last fourth of this book, I just stopped marking things. I was just too into it.
I didn't put any
But I
tabs.
had purple tabs, and
Oh,
like you like
I
look.
need to do that. I need to get purple. Like, I think I have some, but I just didn't do that because I was honestly mostly reading. I read a good chunk of this book on the plane, so I didn't have my tabs with me or a pencil or
Oh
pen.
yeah.
So I didn't tab or like I didn't underline too much, but there's some stuff that I did. And I'm now trying to find it, but like that might take me forever. But there was like one thing
Well,
that I'm like, that was good.
there's a couple things. It was mostly banter.
Yeah, the
Like I don't
banter's
know.
just so good.
As
But what
one,
am I gonna do? Post banter on Fable? Maybe.
maybe yeah. Other people do.
I guess.
I could dent his stupid little crown. She thought
Meh,
manically.
that's good.
Also, I'm so confused because I thought we knew. Like it was pretty obvious that Kingsley. Back to
Oh yeah.
this, because kind of towards the end, they're like Kingsley was a real prince, and it was like,
I thought we knew
duh,
that.
isn't that why he's a
Yeah, I
frog?
thought
Well,
that's the
we
fairy
did.
tale.
And she was like, I wanted you to tell me, but also it's just like common fairy tale trope that he whatever. I think he's gonna turn into back to human in
I
the
don't want
next
him to be
one.
a human. Stay a frog, bitch. Anyway.
What if he gets a spin-off series?
That would be so cool.
But like it's his
Of being
journey
a
of
frog.
being like a frog or like
Frog book.
becoming human again or something. I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized I don't own Assistant. I had gotten it from the library.
It's right there.
No, I was like looking at my bookshelf and I was like, well, also I was severely humbled because I packed all my books up
Mm-hmm.
and at my house I had like I got rid of some more books,
Yeah.
but like just like childhood books I didn't need. And I guess I had a lot more knickknacks on my shelf because I opened all my book boxes here and I was like, oh, I'm going to put all my books up first because they're going to take up so much room. What was I thinking? First of all, barely a shelf and a half. That was humbling. Um, and I just didn't realize how many books I was reading on my Kindle and through the library, which is good because it's less expensive that way. But at the same time, it's like, I wish I owned Assistant and I'm going to go to the store and buy it this week. I also want to buy it every summer after because I'm going to the beach to see Rachel again. And one of my other friends had read it and she's like, it's a super good beach read. And I was like, I should bring that. So I'm going to go get that this week. But then I'm like severely behind on my TBR for this month.
Me too.
What is even on there? I have to go
I was
look.
supposed to
Like the one we posted.
I was supposed to get to well, I did this. I'm supposed to finish Throne of the Fallen. I haven't even started Finale. And I am currently reading very slowly Crossroads by Devony Perry, who is, if you know, she wrote the Edens series. But this one is okay.
I kind of got off track with Good Girls Guide though. But like I had to read it. The show just came out.
No, that's fair. Oh, the bug's moving. Ah. It's not inside. It's just I don't like that it's there.
Yeah, I was supposed to read The Final Gambit, which I might, and Carval. So I might bring one of those with me and try and get it done on the plane.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could. And then I was supposed to read Their Vicious Games. But in my mind, I just swapped it for
that's fine.
Good Girls Guide.
We don't have to be true to our TBR.
No, but I was like, it's only 4. Like, I can do it, and like I'll stick to it, and I won't get off track. And I haven't gotten off track. I just haven't been reading as much because my first 2 weeks of this month were just fucked with moving.
Me too.
So not feeling like a demon on the page this
I am
month.
not feeling like a demon on the page. And it's kind of sad.
Although I think you've gotten through some stuff.
I got through Assistant this month. And I technically at the beginning of the month finished Legendary. So I can count that in my month. But it's like right now it's only 2 books because I get so I moved across the country, guys. Like I didn't have time to read. But like then I'll get swept up in whatever Dramonie thing I want to read, and then it's all over because I don't finish those very quickly, but I want to keep going back to them rather than the physical books that I have to read. Like I now have this is really cool, but like I now have a shelf on the bottom of all my books that are like to be read, like a TBR shelf. Oh God, guys, I've done it. I'm reading the Allie Hazelwood book where she wears galaxy leggings. Love on the Brain.
Is that not all of them?
Right, that's what it's called,
okay.
Right? Yeah. No, that's not all of them. This is the one that like Heather, our girl, like talked about. She's like, I love Allie Hazelwood so much that like I would read the book where the girl like wears the galaxy leggings, and yeah, I am eating it up. Because so I went to a bookstore where they also have a used book section, and I saw it sitting there on the table, and it was $9 instead of like $18, and I was like, I might as well.
Speaking of expensive books, so I'm gonna try and like buy more books. I was like, I did get a library card where I live now because I moved cities, so I got to do one, and I did utilize both of them because today, so for my like in-person book club I do, we're gonna read The Black Angels, which is a recounting of the nurses who worked during like a huge tuberculosis outbreak, like the plague or something.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't get to pick. I don't pick. Someone else picks.
How do you get on the picking committee?
Well, it's just the one person who runs it.
Oh.
I guess we get to put in like recommendations, but at the end of the like I guess in July it was cutesy and they read the Abby Jimenez book. But I didn't go. I missed it because I was like at the beach. And then this month was some memoir that I didn't read, but I went to the book club anyways, and I got everyone to talk about all the book series turning into TV shows. So win for me. I thought I added it. The one thing about Fable is it's not very like chronological. I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
It's like not I feel like it's not ordered correctly. Anyways, but I was like, I'll buy it because it seems kind of interesting, and then like it'll be another book to put on my shelf. It was $25 for the hardcover and $35 for the paperback. I'm like, how long is this book?
Usually the hardcover's more expensive.
I don't know. And then I was like, is the paperback not out yet?
Oh, yeah.
Or like, what? But I ended up finding it at the library, so I'm just it's $25 on Amazon. Or I guess it's old enough, like you can get it for resale for $10. But I guess it's a new cover, so they're reselling it for more. But I'm like, really? $25?
Yeah.
Who's buying that? Okay, wait, actually I don't know what this is about because this says it's Gotham Book Finalist 2024 NPR Science Friday, Best Summer Beach Reads 2024 winner of the what?
I don't think a book about tuberculosis is a beach read.
I think we have different definitions of beach read. So yeah, some books are gonna have to be from the library because you got me fucked up if you think I'm paying for $25 for
especially a book that you don't even like, you're not even 100% like sure on.
Yeah, like I remember Assistant was kind of expensive. I'd buy Throne of the Fallen you said it was pretty expensive. Like I would buy that because I want to read it.
I can tell you how much it is. So I got the paperback, the really pretty one.
Yeah,
this was $20.
All of a sudden that doesn't sound expensive.
But I love it in a paperback. Like it flops.
I was gonna say that earlier. This one is so just floppy.
Yeah.
And this is like a YA like floppy book. That's just right.
So
in my soul.
No one asked to go back to assist to the villain, apprentice to the villain. But I just remembered something that, again, almost made me cry. And I definitely marked it, but I can't find it. But when they're at Rebecca's house and they're outside, and it's like, it's Evie and like one of her brothers, and they're like sparring or something. Like he's like, "We'll teach me like how to fight." And then the villain like shows up, and you know, Rebecca's brother's like kind of giving him shit, being like, "Well, who would ever, you know, love, like who could ever love the villain? Like it'd be so hard to love a villain." And then Evie goes like, "I didn't find it very hard."
Yeah. Did she say that out loud, or
No,
did she think
like,
that?
kind of murmured it like under, and the villain goes, "Huh."
We had sorry, I think my roommate's moving around. We had a like Violet and what's his man? Xaden moment in this book where it's like, I can't love you, but I do love you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of back and forth, and I was like, you just like each other.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Just admit it. No harm, no foul.
It's fine. Also, I don't think his powers are dwindling because she can see his powers.
I don't think so either. I think he's a fool.
But no, I think that's stupid. I'm wondering if she has starlight power.
For sure.
And like doesn't know it.
Yeah, because she's the only one who can see his magic.
That's why I'm like, are they connected, but in a way that like that's not draining him. It's just like we haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, I think there's some other force, probably like the king or whatever the fuck, is like who's like draining his power, but like he doesn't realize that yet, and he just thinks it's Evie because she can see his magic. But like they're definitely connected. Like
that's connected, but it's not like connected in the way that she's draining him. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! And the part, I think it was Rebecca who said this to Evie. She was like, "Yeah, there wasn't an assistant to the villain position before you showed up."
Yeah, which we knew. We knew that, but
like having Evie hear that was just so cute.
I'm so glad her and Rebecca are like friends.
Yeah, they
I'm
be
glad
mutuals.
Rebecca. Yeah, she got a little bit more like open.
Yeah,
because we got to see more of her POV, which I
like
liked.
seeing her like little backstory. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm remembering things.
Yes.
The scene where there's a fire in the courtyard and Evie's like, "Where the fuck's my sister? I know she did this. Like she would do this." And they go outside and they find her with Fluffy, and she's like covered in like ash and like soot. And he like bends down to like wipe her face. You're kidding.
He's not a bad guy.
He's just misunderstood.
Guys, really, truly,
the definition.
That has never been a truer statement than now.
He's just hurt. He just has trauma. So I like
guys. So, I don't know. I better just get through like 16 books next month. There's no other option. But I am, well, it's like there's no books coming out that I want to read, so that's good until like November or something.
Well, September 3rd, which is pretty soon, is the sequel to Wild Love by Elsie Silver.
I keep forgetting about that one.
And then November is,
but I don't own that.
Lost and Lassoed. I do own that one,
which I'm really excited.
Oh my god. We got a sorry, random. We got a cover reveal for the Dishonestly Yours sequel. Oh, I'm so excited.
Which one?
The one.
Which one's
Dishonestly? The one with the crime families, the like con artist families.
Oh, and the ballerina?
Oh no, that's a different one. No, this is the one different with Phoebe and Rocky. You remember that one?
Yeah.
The one where they...
Yeah, we briefly talked about that.
And that doesn't matter. Also, another... Wisteria, the third and final book in the Belladonna trilogy, came out last week. I didn't even pick it up because I don't have time. Like, when the fuck am I supposed to read that?
Yeah, no one's allowed to talk to me in the month of September, which is not true.
But I'm going to be so piled and slammed with reading for, like, my program. But thankfully, one of my classes, I get to read a lot of YA literature. So I'll be reading, just like, it won't be exactly like the things. It won't be like adult novels like this, where people, like, vampires and shit be, like, fucking all the time, you know?
Speaking of vampires, I started watching The Vampire Diaries, which I've never seen.
I've never seen it either.
Because I was a teen wolf girl growing up. Humbling.
It's not humbling.
Not really. Dylan O'Brien, I still want you.
I still want you. Please. We gotta make that happen.
Anyways. So, yeah, I was a teen wolf girl. And I don't know. I guess more recently I've become a vampire girl. But yeah, I decided to start watching The Vampire Diaries because I've been wanting to watch it. And now me and my roommate are watching it together. Except we're only like halfway through season 1 and we've been watching it for about a week because we just watch 1 or 2 episodes a night and they're like 45 minutes because they were an hour on the CW back in the day. I think the CW. There's like 7 seasons. It's gonna be Christmas by the time we're done. But it is really interesting, and yeah. Anyways, but that's all I got.
Yeah, I feel like that's
not a lot cooking up in here. I'm hoping to just finish a book a week till the end of the year.
Yeah,
which is such a big statement.
I'm hoping I'm just hoping I finish Throne of the Fallen by the end of the month, which
is the end of this week.
Yeah, like our little trip. But like, I'm just hoping. I'm like, so how do I read in the car? I'm literally the one driving.
I'll just start reading out loud. Well, the reason I realize people are finishing not everyone, but in my book club, everyone said, "Oh, I listened to it on audiobook." Oh, well, no wonder. But you didn't retain any information because no way. No way have I ever heard an audiobook and know what was happening. Not once.
I agree. Sorry, that laugh sounded very fake, but it was genuine.
No.
No, I agree. I'm not retaining information if I'm listening to it. Like, because sometimes I'll be watching like the Broski Report or something, and I'm like, I've got to put on the YouTube video. I'm not getting this.
No, sometimes I'll start like talking to myself. Who's listening? I'm listening to someone else speak.
Yeah, no, they
ridiculous.
Can't hear me.
So
we should be audiobook readers.
Like we should listen?
We should do audiobooks.
But then the dogs are barking. But halfway through, just start talking about something else.
Yeah.
Because no one's listening.
Just try to like test people. Pop quiz.
Yeah.
We should start doing pop quizzes in the episodes.
No, and what did I just say? If you were listening, you would know.
And if you were listening, you would know what I said at exactly minute 35:12. Report back to me. I won't even remember what I said.
No, half the time I go back and I edit these and I'm shocked that we even said any of that. What were we talking about? I wasn't there.
Like when you told me, so our most recent episode, go listen, I talked about Carval because I started it. Mm-hmm. And I make this joke that Legend is just Brendan Urie in the I can never remember the name of the song, but y'all know which one I'm talking about. The one song. What is that? Okay, I'm gonna find. Can I find the song?
Death of a Bachelor?
No, that's not Death of a Bachelor.
I write sins,
Yes.
not tragedy.
I write sins, not tragedies.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that's not legend. And I made that joke. And then Lucy told me when she was editing the episode that I made that joke. And I like laughed out loud because I forgot that I said that. But I was like, that's actually so funny.
It was.
Someone else said something, like, you said something funny about, like, in the like little intro clip that you sent me. I was like, damn, like, I'll be forgetting everything we talk about. It's new to me.
Every week. My favorite is when I go back and edit an episode, and the week before we had talked about the same exact thing, and we just repeated ourselves. Not often, but every once in a while we'll like come back to the same topics. And I think it's so funny.
It's real. It's just how we are.
So, well, till next week. I'll see you in person.
Guys, she's coming for me. Help!